you don't win anything by trying to out earn your spouse.
Yeah.
I can't see anything in the Bible that says the man is living in sin if he doesn't earn more.
Hello everyone, welcome to The Forge. The Forge is where we try to inspire men and boys to become real men. But that's not the topic we are about to discuss today. Today I've been joined by a good friend of mine. He's become a really good friend. We've known each other for a few years and we've been working together and things are really good. He's a good man. Andrew, good sir.
Yes.
You are a good sir. That's how you called me once, and I thought that was a good title.
I like using it.
Yeah, you are good sir.
And you're befitting of the title.
You are good sir. You are good sir. So, The Forge is for men. Of course, women can watch it, but we focus on men discussions so we can help women and men. And the whole point of helping boys to become men and men to become real men, you see that process. You are a real man looking at you. You've gone through the whole process.
I've grown up.
We are all in the process of
Yeah.
trying to be real men.
Yeah.
Jesus is a real man. You know, Jesus is a real man. But we try to be like him and sometimes we fail. But yeah, so tell me, your profession. I think people would like to know what you do, your background, and things like that. Just who you are.
Yeah. So you alluded to the fact that we're co-workers. We kind of are.
Yes.
Stakeholders. I don't know, but we stay in our lanes.
Yes.
A lot of the time. So currently work with you.
Yes.
Whereby I run our general department at our church. So that's the finance, the HR, the payroll, compliance, the legal stuff.
Yes.
And with that also, I have a pastoral role in our church network. Now, I got to that stage because I have a decades-long background, singular there. So 10 years experience in human resources.
Yes.
And within that time did my master's in theology, knowing full well that was where God was eventually leading me to. So started out human resources so that I could be useful and somewhat, and it gives some time to grow up.
You are very useful at church.
Somewhat, yes. And then and use that skill set. I didn't know how, didn't know where, didn't know who with. God knew, and then use that in a Christian or church context.
Yes.
And here we are.
You are married.
Yes.
To Phoebe. Phoebe Mackenzie.
Yes.
I believe that's her family name now.
Yes.
For
12 years. Coming up to 12 years.
And 2 boys?
Two
So
boys.
you are a father, a husband.
Yeah.
Uncle, auntie. You're not an auntie.
I'm not an auntie. Not an uncle. Not an uncle either, actually.
Yes, you're an uncle. No, you're not a grandpa yet.
Not a grandpa.
Something like that. So, okay.
I'm still new at the fathering thing. So I have 2 boys, 6 and 3 years of age.
So let's talk about Phoebe. What does she do?
She is an ophthalmologist. So that is an eye surgeon. So she has gone through a process of becoming a doctor, done a Bachelor of Medicine, and then she's spent some time specialising in just the eye.
Is that intimidating?
Intimidating?
Yes. To marry someone who sounds that intellectual or educated?
Yeah, to some it is. Yeah, and to I guess to most men that might be something that would be a bit of a challenge unless you are at that level of education
of
and
real
output
men. Real men.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I guess people would say it could be intimidating. Am I intimidated by it? No.
How?
Because
Why
she's
not?
she's not my eye doctor.
Yeah.
She's my wife.
No, them say, no, she doesn't treat you.
No, she doesn't treat me.
So even if something goes in your eyes, she doesn't remove it.
Well, she doesn't care because
I will tell her.
Because she's
I will
just
tell her you said that.
Well, she's just spent all day dealing with complex issues where
Yes.
people, if that's not interjected by her professional input, they might lose their eye or go blind or something.
Yes.
So if I've got dry eyes and I
Yes.
complain about that, she's got absolutely no sympathy about that because she's just dealt with more complex
Are
things.
you okay for me to tell her you said this?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
I will tell her.
And she's, absolutely. She'll agree.
Okay,
She will
good.
agree. Yeah.
Good. And as you were dating, did you know that she will become an ophthalmologist, or she became while you were already married, or what happened there?
Yeah, so we got married young. I was 24, she was 23. So that we got married at a point where I had already finished university and I'd had a few years in the human resources profession. I'm almost 2 years older than her, and a business degree takes less time than a medical degree.
Yes.
So we started dating when she was in the last few years of her medical degree. So she was a student. She was pouring coffees for $6 an hour or
Yes.
whatever. So she was dirt poor.
Yeah.
That didn't come out right. She was gorgeous.
Yes, but
it still is. But
yeah.
she I wasn't marrying her for her money.
Yeah. No, because she didn't have
She
any.
didn't have any.
Yes.
So then, but I knew obviously that she would finish medical school, and she didn't know the direct path that she would go on. She didn't know that she'd become an ophthalmologist, but it's fairly common knowledge that as a doctor, you will earn very comfortable money. Now,
Yes.
different specialties earn different amounts of money.
Yes.
And we don't need to go into that today.
Yes.
But
no, I would love to hear it, but for another time. Yeah.
So
I really want to know.
I knew that eventually she would, be in a very strong profession that demanded so much of her time and attention. And so at that point in my life, I already knew that I was going to become a pastor.
Yes.
So I knew that I didn't know where, didn't know when, didn't know who with. I knew that I would leave the security of the corporate world and I would be pastoring. Now, you don't get rich pastoring unless you're Joyce Meyer or one of those, big time American pastors.
Not even Australia.
So, pastors are
Comfortable.
can be paid comfortably, and
But
they
not
can earn a
as-
living and they can feed their family, but they're
Yes.
not going to have an extensive share portfolio
Yes.
and a couple of Mercedes in the garage.
Yes.
Yeah. So I knew that at some stage, she would out earn me.
Yeah.
And
You were prepared for that.
Yeah, I think so too. And part of our process in getting engaged and married was her father, who is also a doctor. He asked me if I'm comfortable with this, and he said, she is going to earn a lot, and she's got a very highly demanding profession, and is that intimidating to you?
So
Are
this
you
question has
comfortable?
been asked to you before.
Yeah, can I marry your daughter? Yes, but
Can you handle
have you
this?
thought about this? Can you handle this?
Yeah, good
Are you a
question.
real man?
Yeah.
Can you sort it out? Anyway, yeah. So
You looked at yourself. Yeah, I'm becoming a real man. I can handle that.
yeah, that's exactly right. And ironically, I was unemployed at the time. That's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Not for bad reasons, but I was just between contracts,
Yes.
and so but she was still at university, so it wasn't really threatening at that time. But that thought was planted in my mind.
Now she earns more than
early.
you.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you say she's the main breadwinner?
Yeah,
in the house?
absolutely. Like I'm a part-time pastor,
Yes.
and she works full-time as a surgeon. So
she really brings more than you.
When
did you
I
realize
haven't done
that-
the maths?
yeah,
I can't do the maths, but a lot more.
You just ignore it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't
she earns
matter.
something, and you earn something. You all bring it together.
Yeah, that's
Let's
right.
Let's say that.
Yeah.
You bring something, she brings something, you put together. Yeah.
Exactly right. right.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and if you're going to fight so much that it's an issue to the end point that you get divorced, you're dividing the assets anyway. So no one wins when you're talking about, who earns more and whose is what. And
so you've decided just to ignore that part.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Is it because you're uncomfortable
right
with it, or because it's just not necessary?
It just doesn't matter. Like I think, like if I was never going to I knew if I was to work in human resources for the rest of my life, I'm on a salary, so I'm never going to earn against a medical professional who is fee for service, doing what she does. Like her skill set is far more crucial to society than mine.
Okay.
And it's rewarded and remunerated accordingly.
Yeah.
So I knew that it was something.
I want to follow up on that. I really love your spirit, the spirit of a real man. I love that. You realize that she's becoming the main breadwinner in the house, and how did you process that? Because according to the tradition, the man should be the main breadwinner in the house. And if a woman works, she brings something, but the man should always be, the main breadwinner. But I think society is changing, and we are getting to understand that it doesn't need to be the case. So how did you get to get comfortable with it?
Yeah, well, it's not a matter of her earning like 5%, 10% more than me, and we're always trying to win a pay rise in our own professional work.
You don't compete with each other.
We don't compete with each other, and not to put too fine a point on it, but she earns to a level that we're very comfortable. So I'm in a unique position where I'm pastoring, but I have a really well-funded lifestyle, and you see my lifestyle. We don't flaunt our money. I've never had too much of an issue with it. I think sometimes you hear that, the male, and particularly in a conservative Christian context, the male, and it's in an old school context as well, the male needs to lead the house, be the head of the house, earn the money, and if you're not a real man.
Yes.
Now, we've had times in our marriage, particularly when my wife has been on maternity leave, where she's at home full time, I'm at work full time, and we've got this picture of what it could be like if we had an old school relationship.
Yes.
And so it didn't work for us.
Oh, good.
Because she comes from an environment, a medical environment that requires so much stimulation.
Yes.
And when you've got a baby rolling around on the floor and you're trying to fill your day with domestic chores and social visits, and maybe like going to the gym and putting the baby in the creche or whatever, like it's not stimulating for her. So there's a time and a season for that, and she's enjoyed her maternity leave when our boys have been born. But I've seen a better version of her when she's got this work component.
Yeah.
So she comes home and she's just, I don't know, alive, and she's thriving, and she's getting some joy out of what she's doing. And also, it's a skill set that helps people. Like, it changes. You remove a cataract from someone's eye, and their life changes.
Yes.
The functionality of their life, the ability to do other things, it changes. And so you get to do that. That's pretty cool. And so who would I be to say, you can't do that because I need to earn more than you, and we need to live off my, let's say, I don't know, $80,000 salary instead of your X amount of salary.
I was expecting you to say it. You said 8 for you and 200,000 for you.
Let's go with that. Yeah, for argument's sake.
2 million. With
yeah.
Big difference.
Oh, that'd be great. But anyway, so like, how selfish would that be? And then there's a flow-on effect of, we can't afford that because I decided that I would earn the money and you can't. And so you mentioned, sorry, I'm cutting you short, but that's okay.
You mentioned conservative, or you mentioned that, but the Bible says the man is the head of the family. How do you do that? How do you still be the man, still be the head, or you've swapped the role? The Bible says the man is the head of the house.
Yeah.
How do you stay the head.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that you are not the man. Are they synonymous, being the head and earning more in the house?
No, not at all. I don't feel that way. And I've heard preachers say that, you know, if you're going to look after your family and lead them, then you make the money. And so I believe that we are both living in the calling that God has for us.
Yes.
So I believe that the 14 years of study that she did to become fully qualified is a God plan. I believe that I am in ministry because God planned. Like, who would be in ministry if God didn't plan it? Like, that's just silly.
Crazy people.
Anyway,
it's a sacrifice. So.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So who am I? Like, God wouldn't write that into the Bible and then have that plan for us.
Yeah.
So there is that. Now, with my background, I manage the money in our relationship.
Okay.
So she brings it in.
Yeah.
I
You're
manage
good with
it.
Numbers.
Yeah, I'm good with numbers. I understand balance sheets.
that.
I understand how it works. I'm savvy that way. I'm the son of an accountant. So my father was an accountant. So I have that background, and she has no interest in that.
Okay.
So she trusts me, and we've got a track record of me dealing with all the finances.
Yeah.
And making sure that we make
but that
the
makes
best
you
decisions.
a worker in the house. Tell me, how
Well,
do
there's
you,
that too, yeah.
How
And-
do you still be the leader while you are just an accountant in the house?
Yeah,
a
sure.
cashier.
Sure. So
Oh, you are...
she trusts the decisions that I make.
Yes.
And so but also with really big decisions, there have been times in the past where she will just go, you know what? This decision that we're about to make has gravity. It has responsibility. It's up to you. Now, that's not to throw her hands up and say, I can't do this or I don't know a way through this. She's said, or I've come from the other angle and said, you know what, trust me on this.
Yes.
I'm going to run with this. I'm going to deal with it.
I appreciate that. My question is, does money gives her more voice in decision making?
Not in our marriage.
Not in your marriage.
No.
Okay.
And I don't know how to explain that. We haven't had money out for the whole time being married.
Yeah.
We've actually lived paycheck to paycheck
Yes.
most of our 12-year
Yes.
marriage.
Yes.
And so it's only been the last probably 2 years where we've had surplus. And so what we learnt with money in the 10 years that we had just enough, we apply that to our finances now. So she trusts me with that. We're on the same page biblically.
Yes.
So we have the same ratios for tithing and offering and giving and sponsoring and all of that, all those things that the Bible tells us to do.
Yes.
But we don't have to worry about money anymore.
So what's your understanding of being the head of the family?
Understanding being the head of the family is running decoy for my wife and kids, protecting them,
And you still
leading,
do that?
leading a pace of life that is honourable, making sure, taking responsibility. So, for instance, the spiritual growth of our sons, that's on me. So I'm the head of the household according to the Bible, and it's up to me to make sure that they are, that we have family devotions or that we get them to church every week or whatever it might be, whatever it looks like for people's families. Like that falls on me. I hold that responsibility. I have to give an account to God when I go to heaven one day, and I have to answer for that. Now, and naturally as a man, I'm wired to protect her, to fend off predators, to make her life as easy as possible, as burden-free as possible.
So you don't feel any less of a man because you bring less money in the marriage?
Well, I don't know. I think, look, for me personally, a lot of my interests are masculine anyway. So yesterday I helped our boys build a timber box that we can store our sporting equipment in. I love working out. I love working with my hands. So I'm naturally masculine anyway. I love sport. Like I've grown up playing sport. So I just love physical, competitive stuff. And so that's traditionally viewed as masculine. I know females love sport and they do that.
So
all,
in
all
your
that
marriage,
stuff.
you don't feel like you are less of a leader or less of a man
No.
because you don't bring more than your wife?
No, well, I'm
You
secure
don't
in my manhood already.
Okay.
And so this is just one thing that society would say, oh, you wear the apron, or, nice skirt, mate. Or because your wife earns more than you. Like,
Yes.
I've got no choice in this. I really don't have any choice in this because God's called me to do this. God's called her to do that.
It's God's plan.
And you know what? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we've got a great life, and
Yes.
because of her profession, why would I change that?
So you don't struggle with that setting at all?
I think sometimes I do. Like, I think would I? Like, I'm so happy that I'm called to do what I'm doing.
Yes.
But like, I've grown up in a society where I'm wired to think that I should earn more than my
yes,
wife.
it's about the
and
society,
so
yeah.
it's taken. There's been some occasions where I think, I wish I would earn more than her so I win that competition.
Yeah.
Because that's what society tells me about that.
Yeah.
I think most of the times that I've struggled with it has been when I've been associating with her colleagues in the
Yeah.
medical profession,
Okay.
and they are condescending towards me because I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
Like,
So
you
you're
work in
using this
HR,
language
you
and
wouldn't
jargons.
understand me, like, because I'm a doctor and I might just talk simply to you.
Yeah.
And whether they're intentional about that or whether they just
feel it.
don't know, you feel it. And so I've talked to other people who are married to doctors who have had similar circumstances. And it's a thing, but it's as big as you make it to be in your own head.
Yeah.
If you're confident in what you do,
Yeah.
and if you're absolutely fine with that and you project that confidence and satisfaction, people actually don't engage with that as much. And
What?
yeah.
How about Phoebe? Does she use doctor's language toward you? Or
No, because she knows that I don't understand it. So it's fantastic. And so, like, I think she's grown up in the medical world, and she's seen, because medicine, when you're studying medicine and you're becoming qualified in that, whatever avenue of medicine you go down, it is all consuming.
Yes.
And so doctors live this lifestyle of living at the hospital, sleeping at home, and, there's a change of clothes in the car and they work ridiculous hours, and when they're home, they're studying. And so it consumes their life. And so she's actually said before that, doctors don't know how to socialize with anyone that's not a doctor.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. She's fantastic at separating that.
Yeah.
And our life kind of allows her to get released from that medical world. So I bring this up because a lot of doctors live in this world and they marry doctors.
Yeah. It's
And so
become like a
doctors
bubble.
marry doctors and they talk about doctory stuff and they do
Yes.
doctor things and it's
Yes.
all doctor.
It's doctor life.
That's exactly right.
It's a
But she
bubble.
comes back to me at home and I don't understand what
You're
she's
civilian.
talking about. Now, I understand what she does. I know she removes a cataract. I know she injects, eyeballs to, alleviate conditions.
Yes.
But I don't know about the technical stuff. So I
doesn't bring
can't
that
speak
home.
that language and she doesn't bring that home. And, whether that's a good thing or not for her, I don't know. She's got enough avenues to debrief on.
I would like to know.
Yeah.
I'd like to know her opinion on this. Like, she's the main breadwinner today
Yeah.
in your home. What does she say about it? What's her attitude? Can we gossip about her a little bit?
Yeah, I think she's never been embarrassed by it.
Okay.
She's always wanted to know that I've been okay with it. And so she's always been very careful. She's never, ever strong-armed me. She's never said, I earn that money, so I'm going to make the decision about how to spend that money.
Yes.
Or, you get X amount of pocket money
Yes.
and I get X amount of pocket money
Yes,
because
I
I've
bring
earned
more.
that.
Yeah, she
She doesn't do that.
Oh, that's a
she
great
never
thing.
has. And I doubt that she ever will.
Yeah. No, she won't.
We're on the same page. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
I've seen couples and I've heard of couples that struggle with this thing. I've seen couples where for the season the wife brings more, and really it's a struggle. Either the man starts to just rebel against, like it becomes a struggle for the man, all the pressure from outside, all the woman changes and becomes, just arrogant and stuff like that. I see that tension in most cases. That's what happens. Your case is quite unique. I think your case should be the standard. I think it should be, women should be okay to do what they were called to do, without the ceiling of trying to stay under their husband financially. I mean, even though they still respect their husband spiritually and in the leadership in the home. We'll talk about that another time, what it means to be the leader of the house. I love your style. I love what you do, the way you lead your family. It's not about bringing more money or less. You have other responsibilities that make you the leader of this house, of your house, which is great, But I've seen so many couples struggle in that season. Either it's just a season or just what it is what it is.
Yeah.
I see really people struggle with that. What would you say to those men who are in that situation where they're really not comfortable?
Oh, I guess, like, I'd ask them, why aren't you comfortable? Like, are you trying to impress someone else outside your marriage because of that? Like no one should know how much money you make anyway.
No.
So, I mean, outside looking in, a pastor's married to a doctor. Of course they're going to know that the doctor's going to make more. But if an engineer's married to a lawyer, who knows what
nobody knows what is happening.
Nobody knows how much they earn. So why is it a point of contention or whatever? I remember going to a Christmas party of a organisation that I worked at. I was young. I wasn't married yet. And I witnessed this couple. The lady worked in our HR department. The man did not. He worked elsewhere. And they started an argument because we'd just received our end-of-year bonuses. And she said to him, I got my bonus today. It was X amount. It was probably 10 grand or whatever it was. And she says, so that means that I've earned more than you this year.
Oh. So
it's in front of people, and they're not together anymore.
Oh, no wonder.
And they've divided their assets, and now they're worse off.
Yes.
But it's like, why? No one won in that scenario. Like, she didn't win anything. She lost everything because of that. And I'm sure that there was other issues and whatever else. And that wasn't an isolated incident in their marriage. But I just think you don't win anything by trying to out earn your spouse.
Yeah.
I can't see anything in the Bible that says the man has to. The man is living in sin if he doesn't earn more. We're talking about a book that was written in a context where it didn't matter and women didn't have earning opportunities anyway.
Yes.
Now, when I'm teaching my boys about this, the concept of breadwinner may not even be a concept that their generation struggles with, because they've seen their parents' generation have women out earn men, and maybe even their grandparents as well. So my parents' generation.
Yeah.
So this is going to be phased out in the next generation or two.
Yeah.
So to come back to your question about what I would say to a man who's struggling with this, this isn't going to be a social thing in the next little while. So change it. Be part of the change. Be part of changing this social expectation that men should earn more than women.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Now, she would say, and you've heard my wife say this before, that she wouldn't be where she'd be without my support.
Yeah.
Similarly, her father, who's a doctor, and he's married to a woman who has been by his side the whole time through medical school, raised 3 children. She quit her job as soon as she went on her maternity leave the first time, never went back to paid employment. However, she runs the house and she made it happen. And he says that he would never have got to a stage where he'd worked 40 years as a medical specialist without her assistance. Yeah. He's seen so many people work and work and work and work, and then the wife just takes the kids and the assets, and then that's end of story.
Yeah.
So you have, for everyone to be successful, you have to be on the same page, and you have to support one another and cheer for one another as well. And when you're comparing paychecks, it doesn't work. It never ends well.
It's normal. It's okay. It doesn't take your leadership away. It doesn't change who you are. It's okay if your wife earns more. It's okay if you earn more. It doesn't really matter.
No, that's exactly right.
And we should be comfortable with that. Boys should be comfortable with that. Men should be comfortable with that. And that makes them real men.
And it only mattered. I think it's only mattered to other people that I don't care about. And it's not a very pastoral thing to say, but they're so insignificant in my life. They're not my close friends. They're not my family. They don't.
I really don't.
It doesn't. It doesn't affect me at all. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
I think you've adopted a path that should be exemplary to men and boys out there. It's okay for your wife to earn more, and it's okay for you to earn more if that's your settings of your home. It's fine. There must not be an issue if it's the wife earning more, or there must be not any competition between you, like the lady who said I earned more than you. It doesn't really. It's not love. It's nothing. Nobody wins.
Nobody wins.
I love that.
I
love that. Thank you so much, Andrew. You've been so inspiring. You've really helped, and I believe your life and your story is going to help many people.
I hope so.
Yes, I think you're going to be the change, or you are being the change. Yes, as you said. Thank you so much.
Thank you, good sir.
Good sir. Thank you guys for listening or watching wherever you are. We thank you for your time. We enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel or click the notification bell so that you don't miss any future episodes. This was The Forge. God bless you and see you next time.